What's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Cans Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I'm here tonight with my boy Stats again. What's going on with you, bro? You was at practice today.
Yes, sir. Weather wasn't great. Kind of a gloomy day out in Foxborough, but we got a lot of positives and negatives to talk about, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yes, sir. Hey, let's hop right on into it, man. Let's start with the Matthew Judon situation first, man. What's your take on it? That was a very strange situation. Heard him and Mayo got into it on the sideline. I think Devon Gottsall, defensive tackle for the Patriots, his agents were there at practice today too. So
Mhm.
I think something's probably gonna get done with that. It seems like anytime an agent is there, you think a deal must be close. But I would think that Judon's deal would get done way before Devon Gottsall. So what did you see today? You was on the scene today, man. So what did you see today?
Well, I think before Christian Barmore got hurt, the Patriots' goal was to pay Matthew Judon before, but we're kind of in desperate mode now because obviously not Christian Barmore's fault at all. Health comes way before play, but we're kind of in a little bit of a panic mode, and we're kind of forced to pay Devon Godshaw. Unfortunately, as much as I don't think we should give him a pay raise, I think we're kind of at the point where we have to, especially with the D line depth that I'm going to talk about later, because
Yeah.
some guys that we signed for depth did not look great today. But on the other side of things with Judon, he came out, he was playing with the fans, did his normal thing, and then he went back to the locker room and then came back out and then had like a little skirmish with Elliot Wolf and Gerard Mayo. You saw the video, obviously, and
Mhm.
it did not look good. And then he just walked off. And then he went on a podcast right after practice, and
Mm.
he always has things like always has good things to say about the Patriots. You could tell he wants to stay here, but he brought up a point where he said we have the most cap in the league. Like he just feels like we should be paying him. I agree with him. $6 million is way too low for a player of his caliber, especially when if it does happen. Well, if we're gonna pay Devon Gottschalk more than $10 million, Matthew Judon definitely deserves more money.
Was that podcast he went on? Was it right after, or was it an older podcast? I seen a clip of it on Twitter, so I really couldn't tell. But did you notice anything?
I don't know if I mean you definitely could be right. It was posted on most things after the practice, but
Mhm.
again, you could absolutely be right. It could be older, but it was definitely a recent video, obviously, because they were talking about the contract situations. But I don't usually say this about money in sports because guys are they're making money playing a professional sport, but with the salary and the position value that he brings, I think he deserves a little bit more than he's getting right now.
Yeah, I think he said in the clip that he wrote out his own contract details or contract to the page. They just haven't got back to him yet. The Judon situation is strange, man. I think it's kind of becoming like a distraction now, I believe. Because now, if you're right, if it was a podcast right after, which I don't think it was, but even if it was it rather it was before or after, it still could become a distraction because you know how the Patriots like they've already handled business up on the Bill Belichick. They kind of a private team. You don't really, but now with Mayo with this younger way and wanting to relate with the players, I don't know they might handle it different. But I did see how Judah he seemed like he was kind of frustrated on the sideline today. So I want to know how a young coach and Mayo is going to handle that. How is he going to like come back from that or whatnot. So what is he going to do? Because Belichick, you know what Bill would do. He would have fined them, suspended them, sat benched them or something like that. So I want to know how does Mayo respond or whatnot? Because he's known as a player's coach now. So I would be interested to see how does he handle that situation? And I want to see if not Mayo, but if Judon's gonna be at practice tomorrow. Because he normally comes out, he throws with the fans. You be there, you see it. So I want to see how does he do tomorrow? Is he participate? Does he have the pass on? And keep in mind today, we will get into it in a minute. Today was the first day with the pass. So I want to see how he does tomorrow. It does he still interact with the fans? He's talking with the coaches. Or is he gonna be off to the side like he did today? That was a very awkward situation. Him just sitting there where he was sitting there and everybody else working out. That was a
Yeah,
strange thing.
I'm all for paying Judon, but and I was actually pretty happy even yesterday how he was handling it. He was still coming out with his helmet on, still
Mm,
practicing. But
mm.
today kind of changed my views on that because I think if you're gonna handle it like that, why sit on the rubber mats next to the field and watch? Like you might as well just not come
Yeah,
out at that point because that just looks worse in my opinion.
yeah,
And then come out and throw the ball to the fans. I just don't think sitting aside in an awkward spot, like you said, watching makes it look like that just doesn't look good at all. And it just kind of makes the situation a lot more confusing for Coach Mayo, too, because now he's got to figure out something to do, whether he wants to trade Judon at this point, pay him. We'll see about that. But that's that's a whole other topic for another day. The first thing I want to get into that I noticed,
I do want to know before we get it. I do want to find out. Like, I wonder how far apart they are. I know you don't know, but I just want to know. Like, I know we don't know, but I wonder how far apart are they in these contract talks or whatnot. Though, is the couple million? Because I seen something on Twitter that he wants a deal kind of like Bryce Huff got with the Jets or the Eagles or whatever. He wants a deal kind of like that. But Judon is what 31, 32 years old. He's coming off a shoulder whatever injury he had, triceps injury that he has. So I don't know if Wolf is them. I don't know if Wolf is them going to pay that. And then last week, sometime, I think he was talking with Robert Kraft and Matt Groh and Elliot Wolf after practice. So everybody a lot what we thought something was going to get done. And then, like I just said, open up that Goslar, his agent was there at camp today. So I think maybe that stuff will get done sometime this week. I mean, I doubt your agent will come to camp if a deal is not about to be closed.
Yeah, to the Judon thing, really quick. I'm interested to see how far apart they are too, because today might have affected that. Because it seemed as if everything was going kind of smoothly. He was still practicing, he was still bringing energy, but then today kind of brought you like 2 steps back, and now you're kind of back at square one again, where you might have to trade him at this point because he doesn't look interested at all. But if you want to pay him, it's got to be soon because you got to get him out there with the pads on. He doesn't have to be out there for the full training camp. He's a veteran. He's been in the league. He knows what to do. He knows how to play pro football. But you got to figure something out soon, along with Devon Godshaw, because there's some drills Godshaw participates in, and then others he sits out. So it's kind of a weird situation, but I think for sure something's going to get done with him just because his agent was there today. And I don't think Devon Godshaw is a bad player. He is a great run stuffer. He's super important to our defense in that aspect. But I just wish he could stay a little bit more consistent and prove to us that he's worth more money than he's making, because when he's playing at his peak, he's a great defensive tackle in the run game. Obviously, he doesn't have the shiftiness off the line like Barmore does, but he brings a lot to the table. But he goes invisible some games, to put it simple. And we need consistency from him, especially with Barmore being out.
Yeah, Joseph said, "What's up, Ken? What's up, Matthew? What's going on with you, Joseph? How you doing?" Nathaniel Crenshaw, hey guys, go Patriots. We play next Thursday. I'm excited. That game is home against the Panthers, if I'm not believing. Hey, it's 10 of y'all in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube. On Facebook, share the content. Twitter, IG link that makes you share and you like the content. Appreciate it. Let's see. Joseph, that's wild about Judon. I didn't hear about that. Yeah, it was crazy today, Joseph. He got into it with Elliot Wolf, where I'm going to have to watch that video. Yeah, it's on Twitter. It should be still up.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's everywhere.
That was strange, man. Not a good look.
Nope.
Sports Academy, yeah. My opinion, these guys play the toughest sport out there, and they have a short window to earn as much money as possible. So I don't blame some of these guys pushing for the max. Real good point.
A good point.
Joseph, but arguing in front of fans with the GM is really the best way to go at it. Yeah, I think Judon days might be numbered. I think it's either going to be a contract extension or he's probably going to get traded or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think something got to happen before the season starts. It's a great test early on for Mayo. That's for sure, Ken. Yep, that was one of my biggest points. I want to see how Mayo responds to this. This is awkward sound and situation. This video of this, I got to find it. Sports Academy. Judon brings more to the table than just tackles. He's a leader on and off the field and has shown me that he is willing to negotiate a deal by being at camp. And then it's interesting. I thought, with the Barmore situation, that might speed up the process of getting some of this stuff done. Because now, let's just say you're down Barmore. Who knows if Judon going to play or whatnot, if he's going to be there. Then Devon Gossard's holding out. So, I mean, it might hey, they might got to start, taking some of this stuff into consideration and doing something. Because you're going to be down 3. And Jabril Peppers got hurt today. So who knows how serious that is.
Yeah, so my thing with this is, you brought it up a couple of minutes ago. You can't just let Judon play the season under the contract and lose him next year for nothing in free agency. You either have to trade him now or you have to extend him. It has to be one of the two before the season starts. You can't let him hold out either, because that's also you're getting him, you're losing him for nothing. So you either have to extend him or trade him and get whatever you can for him, because you cannot lose a guy of that value for nothing, especially with the position we're in as a team.
Yep. At the end of the day, though, these guys are professional. That's why they're making millions, and everyone's entitled to a bad day. But Judon might have messed up big time. Yeah, that's my gut feeling on it, Joseph. It was definitely a weird, strange situation.
100%.
Let's see. Yeah, we about to get into the Sports Academy. On another note, I hear Thornton made a case for roster spot. We about to get into that. Let's see. Yep, Thornton had a pretty good day. Jamar Mayfield, what's going on? What's going on, Jamar? I'm saying, yeah, is it true Judon walked away from Coach Mayo when he tried to talk to him? Yep.
Yep.
It's what we're talking about. Let's get into some of the position battles today, man. Start off with the offense, man. The offense, hey, I think one of the most successful days from what I was hearing and seeing on Twitter and whatnot. Tyquan Thornton sent out Javon Baker like the third day in a row. He's going off. Jalen Pope, Jacoby said probably his best day so far. Drake May not so good. I think Javon Baker had a drop today too. But Juju Smith-Schuster, he's put a donut on the board again. I haven't heard anything from him. I don't. The Jalen Reagor, I don't think Reagor did it much today. So those I think you got 5 wide receivers. You got Pop, you got Bourne, Pope, Baker, Thornton fighting for a spot, and I think maybe Osborne, but I don't know where the hype on Osborne is coming from because I haven't heard him doing much. So then a lot of people saying he's guaranteed a spot just because they paid him, they gave him a 1-year contract, but I don't think it was a lot of money. I mean, I would give one of those, give Osborne spot to a young guy. I think Reagor's going to make it because of his special teams value, but I think Thornton, Booty, Juju, and Osborne, they're all fighting for one spot. Assuming Bourne doesn't go in PUP, I think there's at least one more spot available. What you think about that?
So I'll start.
What did you see today too? Yeah. What did you see today too? Because you were there.
So I'll start off with the quarterbacks before I get into the receivers, because there's a lot to talk about with the receivers. But with the quarterbacks, this was Brissett's best day. He brought a ton of energy. He was awesome. He was having a lot of fun out there. You could tell. Drake May, he had a rookie day. That's all I can say. He had a rookie day. He struggled. But I brought this up before we went on. The first offensive line unit was incredible. It was Okorafor, it was Sal, it was Owenu, it was Nick Leverett.
From right to left, right?
I'm just naming them. Sorry, it was Nick Leverett, and it was Nick Leverett at center and Caden Wallace at right tackle. That line held up great. Nick Leverett did a great job with David Andrews being out. The right side of the line, preferably, Owenu and Caden Wallace were very good today. Obviously, no Judon pass rushing, but still, you got some guys that can get in there. But the second offensive line was giving Drake May no help. Vidarian Lowe, he's not a pro. He should not be in the NFL. He gets beat every single rep. I don't know.
He was bad last year.
I don't know why he's still on this team. Against Miami last year, he was embarrassing. I love Calvin Anderson. I love his story. He can't start. He cannot start at any tackle position on this team. Your 2 tackle starters, in my opinion, and it's not close, are Caden Wallace and Chuck Okorafor. Not even close. And Okorafor, I don't even love Okorafor. I don't think he moves that well. I don't think
he's good at right tackle. I think he's solid.
I don't think he's quick off the line, but he's a big boy and he's strong. So at least he gives you some leverage there. Vidarian Lowe cannot start, and they gave Drake May nothing today. Obviously, if you look on Twitter and stuff, Drake May did have some accuracy problems today. He also had a couple drops and he was playing with the 4-string receivers who have no chance of making the team. They were getting 0 separation, 0. I saw it from my eyes. There was at least 3 reps. There was not a single guy open, and Drake May had time in the pocket. So
Drake didn't take snaps like with the first team personnel. Basically, it was maybe second string.
Yeah, so they have like different groups of receivers. It's usually like Juju and Tyquan, Polk and Baker kind of go together, and then Osborne and Reagor. They kind of have groups. So the receivers were kind of just flip-flopping around, but then there's like 3 like clear guys like David Wallace, Jaquay Jackson. Those guys are at the with the receivers, I will say. So about KJ Osborne, I could tell the Patriots love him. I know he hasn't flashed, but he's first in every drill. He's always out there with the first team. I think KJ Osborne's going to make this team. He's been steady. He hasn't flashed anything, but he's had a couple plays at least. Juju's done nothing at all. He is like below. He might be the lowest receiver other than the 4 other guys. But our receiving room right now is Baker and Polk are the clear number 1 and 2. Pop is right there, but Pop still hasn't played in competitive team drills yet. He's still recovering. Tyquan Thornton has been your 3rd best receiver in camp consistently. And today was padded practice, so now we can legit start talking. Okay, because they were hitting today, they were getting physical. Now you could start talking like, okay, Taekwon is making a name for himself. His route running looked pretty good today. He got some separation. He was going against the one.
He was getting separation.
Yes. And there was one throw that Brissett had. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. It was an unbelievable play and catch by Taekwon.
I think it was like a slot fade. I seen that one.
Yeah. But Taekwon's been like your third or fourth best receiver. And then you got guys like Keishawn Butte, who's been kind of quiet, but he's made some plays here and there. Like we said, Juju, complete. He's done absolutely nothing. Excuse me. He just has no explosiveness left. And it's unfortunate because he was your big signing, and we're probably going to cut him and have to eat the money, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think I've been seeing Taekwon been coming on the last few days. The question with him was when the pads come on. Because, he always got hurt. I think last year he got hurt when the pads were on in Green Bay. So now he looks a little bigger than me. I saw him hit the line. I think it was Alex Austin coverage. It was a slot fade. Jacoby Brissett threw it. I think it was probably one of the best balls at camp. Taekwon's really started to come on. So now you got Pop there. He's gonna make. He just dealing with a hand. Pop, Pope, Baker, Bourne. Bourne was running. He posted on Instagram the other day. He was running. So we got like a month to the season start. I think Bourne will probably be a beater. He's been like warming up and doing. He hasn't been doing no drills. Go ahead.
He looks like he's running like fluently. Like he doesn't look like
right.
It doesn't look awkward or anything. So there's a chance he could start.
So yeah, you got Pop, Pope, Baker, Bourne. That's 4. Osborne, I guess he makes it. That's 5, and I think it leaves one more for Thornton. But they might carry 7 and just carry Thornton and Rager and just cut Butte and Juju. That's what I'm thinking.
So the thing with special teams too is I've been noticing I don't even know if we're going to keep a receiver for special teams. I think we just did that last year because Marcus Jones' absence, because every special teams rep, Marcus Jones is the number one guy returning every kick, and he catches all the cleanest, not even close out of everyone. So that's going to affect roster spots for guys like Jalen Rager and maybe even Keishawn Butte, but Keishawn Butte cannot be your kick returner. That's got to be a smaller, speedy guy like Jalen Rager, but Marcus Jones has been the number one guy for that.
Sports Camera stats. How was it today with pads on? Big difference?
Massive difference. There was a lot of physicality. The line, you could finally start to notice some guys on defense, especially on the line. We'll get into that after, but it's a big difference for sure.
Hopefully we can retain Judon. Jamar, I hope so, man. It's not it's up in the air right now. City So seems excited. Yeah, I think I heard that today too. City So. I saw him. I think he talked today. Good news, I guess, on Barmer with crossing his calf and not a major organ. Yeah, Mayo, he commented today said that he should be back soon. Well, Barmer posted on Instagram that he'd be back soon. Then Mayo said they do expect him back, so that's good. And he's getting treated at home. He's not in the hospital.
So that's huge because people talk about the David Andrews one, but it was in his lungs, so it's a lot more major of an organ.
Yeah.
I'm not saying rush Barmore back by any means.
Oh yeah. Barmore really hurts now. Yep, it does. But we got like a month and a half to the season, so we got plenty of time. Yes, Jamar, I agree. We need to retain Judon. Let's see. Praise for Barmore first and foremost, obviously. Yep. Let's see. I seen Taekwon with an overhead catch. That's the thing about Taekwon. He did that today, but let's see what he does tomorrow. Day 2 of pass. Because he did that at minicamp, but then next day, I guess he was hurt or something, or he had a person. I don't know. He wasn't at practice, though. So, are you drinking the Taekwon Kool-Aid yet? Stats.
No, not yet, because I need to.
I got to see a couple more days.
I need to see at least a full week of consistency. I'm not saying he's got to have these insane plays every day, but we see guys like this. They have these insane training camps, and we're like, oh, this guy's going to be – and it happens every year. Jalen Rager's a training camp phenom. He's nasty in training camp. I see Taekwon's going to play in the preseason and he needs to have a good preseason, and he needs to have a good joint practice with the Eagles too. It's a big couple of weeks coming up for Taekwon, but he's done as good as he can do. He's been phenomenal.
Hopefully, I don't want to jinx him, but he played the Panthers his rookie season, and that's the game he got hurt in. His first injury, his collarbone injury, his rookie season. He was showing signs, got hurt. They landed. I think he scored a touchdown that game. Somebody landed on the shoulder. Then he was out for like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. So let's just see on Tyquan Thornton, man. He has to continue on. Good point. I want to talk about this. Might be the end of the road for Juju in a Patriot uniform. I don't think it might be. I think it is. I think Juju is done in New England. I think it's not even just his play. I think it's the fact like we got a bunch of young receivers that are balling. Like Pope, and we about to talk about Javon Baker coming next. Pope, Baker, Pop coming back, Bourne. Juju, you bringing back Juju to be your fifth receiver? I mean, it doesn't make sense. He's not going to play special team. He's not getting separation, so he doesn't have any value. Obviously, if he did have value, you'd been done traded him by now. And they were trying to cut him early in the offseason when they got rid of Devontae Parker. So I think Juju's days are numbered. Maybe Kansas City will come calling. Got to see what happened with the Rashee Rice situation. So maybe he can go back to Kansas City. But I don't know. Do you know what team might be a good fit for him?
I think it's got to be a high level team because he just doesn't he doesn't help like younger teams, like he's not that veteran presence that you want him to be, and he just doesn't fit in our receiving core at all. We have the two veterans in Bourne and Osborne if they both make it. 3 young guys, Pop,
that's 5.
Pop, Polk, and Baker, and then
that's 5. Yep.
How Tyquan's playing, he's looking like he's gonna make it. That's 6, and there's already 3 guys that have also been better than Juju in training camp, and it's not even close. Juju has not had a single play on Twitter or a play that people have talked about. He's done absolutely nothing. So unless he wants unless he wants to ever play in the NFL again, he needs to have an insane couple of days this week, or his days are very, very close to being done with the Patriots.
Joseph says the weather was pretty rough. I get it's the Northeast, but it's sloppy around here, Ken. Low Aaron, that about the offensive line. Okay, I guess love hearing it about offensive line. There's some good news. Yeah, offensive line was pretty good.
Very good.
Kaden Wallace, I heard he's starting to come on. He's picking up things quick. Love hearing that about the O-line and Brissett. May is going to have. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday or a couple of days ago. May is going to have some Ricky days. He's going to have that. I mean, he's not going to light that defense up now. And saying all that, what you don't want to have, you don't want him to come out tomorrow and have another bad day and then start stacking bad days. That's what you don't want. That's when it's time to panic. Now, if we're going into the preseason game number 2 and he's stacking a bunch of bad days, more bad days than good days, there might be a problem. But we all knew coming to the season, everybody said he needed to sit anyway. So there's no expectation for Drake May to start. Me and Stats, we come in and we think, yeah, I thought on the trajectory that he was going that he could start. But everybody, even the analysts already said that he shouldn't even start no way. So it's going to be very interesting to see what I want to see how he responds tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. Drake May doesn't have to be perfect tomorrow, but also another thing defense in him too. It was a heavy running day today. A lot of runs.
Yeah.
There was 1 11-on-11 period. They did not throw a single pass. It was runs the entire time.
Seen that.
So it wasn't really a QB day, and the weather's going to be beautiful tomorrow. I think Drake May's going to have a big day tomorrow. Remember I said that. I think Drake May's going to go, 8 for 10 and 11 V11s. I think he's going to have a huge day. But to the O-line really quick, because I see the Antonio Gibson thing.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Go ahead. You good? Go ahead.
The offensive line was unbelievable. They were parting. They were making seams for the running backs all day, and they were being physical. The guys were getting hit today. Kevin Harris broke out for a big run. Ramondre Stevenson, JaMycal Hasty has had a good camp. He's been available for the quarterbacks, and obviously Antonio Gibson right there. But the offensive line held their own today. The first unit. That is a huge sign, especially if you want to get May in whenever, maybe week 1. You cannot throw him into a situation with a horrible offensive line and have the kid get beat up. That is a huge sign in starting May, because even if May performs perfectly and the O-line looks like the worst in the league, you can't play him. You can't. You can't have the kid getting hit 10 times a game. So that's a huge sign that a lot of people need to really, think about, because that's huge for Drake May's trajectory.
Antonio, yeah, good, well said. Antonio Gibson, what are your thoughts? I've been meaning to talk about him. He's been, I think that was a very underrated signing for the Patriots, signing Antonio Gibson. He could be that James White guy. He can run between targets. He can catch passes. He can run in the middle of the field. He can do a lot. So what have you seen from Antonio Gibson?
Well, this was the first day I got to see him in person, and it just so happened to be the padding day.
He looks smooth.
He's a super. Yeah, I was literally just gonna say he's super smooth runner, and he's super available for quarterbacks. He's always open in the flats somewhere he's actually a pretty good blocker too. I think I did like Zeke last year a lot. I loved what he did for us, but I think Antonio Gibson's definitely an upgrade. He's younger. He's got explosiveness, and I think he gives you a little bit more. And I did love that signing. I think he's the perfect RB2 behind Ramondre, who looks also really good too.
Mm. Yeah, I've been hearing some good things about. I think he had a big run day. I heard Kevin Harris was all right day too.
I said that he had like one like big run, and I know they don't like obviously fully tackle them, but I think Kevin Harris, if that was a real game, that might have been a touchdown. That was a great blocking by the offensive line, and he would have broke through at least 2 tackles.
Sports Academy, yeah, yes, I saw Jones catching punts without a problem. He's got hands, man. Yeah, Marcus Jones, he's had a solid count so far. Joseph says, with all these issues we got going on right now with the front of the defense, is this a make or break year for Keion White? Keion's having a pretty good count. I've been hearing that.
He's the biggest guy in the Patriots, and this is
yeah.
If Barmore is officially, they just decide to sit him for the whole year, which is
they're gonna rely on Keion White big time.
And I remember I talked to you about this when we first started our shows. I've always wanted Keion White to move into the interior, and he was playing the interior today. The number 1 and 2 defensive tackles when Godchaux was on the field was Godchaux and Keion White in the middle, which I love to see. Keion White, he's not explosive enough off the edge to be a consistent edge rusher to get pressure. I think on the inside with his build, he could be an insane defensive tackle alongside Godchaux. And if he develops, you got Godchaux, Barmore, and Keion White in the middle. It's a top 5 defensive tackle crew right there.
Pass rusher, Ojane Eximens. I heard he had a pretty good day. A pass rusher.
Did actually. That's what he obviously he was getting reps against like the 3rd offensive line crew, but he actually did. He pressured I think it was Drake May one of the times.
He can get out. He can pass rush. He got some good pass rushing skills.
He's very quick off the line. So that's good to know, especially if Judon, we do decide to trade him. Unfortunately, that's an open roster spot right there.
Josh Uche got kicked out of practice today. Jabril Peppers left, but I do want to talk about Uche. I feel like he's always getting kicked out. I think he got kicked out last year. That was Anthony Jennings. What have you seen from Anthony Jennings?
I love Anthony Jennings. He's getting reps.
Yeah, I do too.
He's getting reps with the first team every single time. Anthony Jennings is going to be a consistent 1 starter for us.
He's good against the run. He's not going to get you 10, 12 sacks, but he's a better he's good against the run. That's not his game. That's just not his game.
Yeah, he's not like a slim, shifty guy like Uche. He's a big dude and he's strong too. He's a good run stuffer. To the Uche thing, real quick, that doesn't worry me. Chucks is a new player. Uche is one of the biggest competitors on the team. I'll argue that all day. He is one of the biggest competitors on the team, and I think that's just like it's a one-time thing. I'm not worried about it at all. Things just got heated. Uche was on Chucks for most of the time. They were kind of getting the best of each other. Uche got a couple, he had a couple nice, I think he had a swim move on Okorafor one time, but then Okorafor held his own against them. It's just competitive. That happens at every team's training camp. Guys are fighting for their roster spots, so it's stuff like that's going to happen. I don't really read too much into that.
Janine Gabriel says, how do you feel Drake May did today?
He had a rookie day. He wasn't great by any means. His accuracy was a little off. He seemed like he was in a little bit in his head. But he's gonna
kind of rushing some throws.
He's gonna be great tomorrow. Just trust me. He's got he could still start week 1.
Taquan's really good at open space, but he can't shake tackles like the bigger, stronger guys. We have to see. He's been coming on and count lately, man. Catching some deep passes. I think we know he's a straight line speed guy, but he's been running some good routes, catching slants, digs. He had a slot fade day, so let's see if he can keep it up. Day 2 of pass is tomorrow, so we're gonna get into what we want to look for tomorrow in a minute. But let's finish with these comments. Imagine Taquan pops this year. That would be absolutely insane. I got to put the brakes in my mind though. Hey, if Taquan pops, and then you got Pop Douglas in the slot, you got Baker, then we about to talk about Javon Baker, you got Jalen Polk, then Kendrick Bourne. That's a pretty darn good wide receiver core with tremendous upside.
Yes, exactly. Upside's the biggest word with that receiving core.
Exactly. I agree. Judon has negative energy.
It's a hot take.
Today it was.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's see. Judon, Diane, he's usually pretty positive, but now I don't know. I keep getting that wrong. Let's see. Got a good question here. Do you guys think it was stuff going on behind the scenes with Judon today, contract related? He didn't like what he heard and he carried it to the field. I think the fact that Devon Gottsall had his agents there And that wasn't Matthew Judon age. I think that probably has something to do with it. That he's probably wondering like when is he gonna get an extension or something.
That's a really good point. I actually didn't even think about that, but there's no coincidence that Judon got upset today when Godshaw's there. So that's actually an extremely good point you bring up. That's the little stuff that I love to hear because I didn't even think of that, and I usually pick up on things like that. But that's probably the reason why Judon was so frustrated because he does feel like he's a better player than Godshaw, and he is for sure. But right now, D tackle's a position in need with Barmore out, and Godshaw, unfortunately, we do need to re-sign him.
Duggar with the pick on May today. Duggar's a stud. Duggar's always been pretty good. You just got to use him right.
He's been unbelievable. One-handed interception too. He's been unbelievable.
What was I'm gonna ask you on the intercept? Did you see the interception from Drake Mayday? I heard somebody say on Twitter it was Mitchell Wilcox. It was his fault. I heard like Duggar wrestled away from him or something like that, or did Drake throw it right to Duggar?
So the problem is, before I get into that, Mitchell Wilcox had 2 drops today.
I seen that.
He had a terrible day. It wasn't like a perfect throw by any means, but if it was Hunter Henry, he would have at least, at worst, broke up the interception. And it wasn't that bad of a throw by Drake May. Obviously, he had to lead him a little bit more, but Mitchell Wilcox didn't even bother to even try to break up the pass. But again, Kyle Duggar's top 10 safety in football. Mitchell Wilcox, a practice squad tight end. So kind of a mismatch there. But yeah, he wasn't great today by any means.
What was the Pats offensive lineman that missed a whole year with Clark's a few years? I think David Andrews.
Yeah, David Andrews.
And his lounge didn't know that. Oh, lungs. Let me see. What's up with Judon? Day by day, nobody knows right now. He contract issues. I don't. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. I think Stats gonna be there again tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. So he will definitely let us know if he's there practicing. Is he still acting out on the sideline? I don't know, man. But I found it interesting that Elliott Wolf has been at the last few practices though, trying to get front row seat of what things are going on there. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens, man. I think I got a feeling something will get done here pretty soon.
I hope so, man. We do really need him as badly as he handled that today. Judon deserves a pay raise.
How did Christian Gonzalez look today?
Honestly, don't know because he didn't get targeted much at all. So
that's good.
That's a very good thing. Again, it's first day of padding. The weather wasn't great. It wasn't a QB friendly day. The balls were wet all day. The grass was wet. But yeah, Christian Gonzalez was barely targeted today. I think the Javon Baker one was on. They believe it was on. Was it on Alex
Hawkins? It was Hawkins and Ox. Yeah. How far were you to the cat? Like, were you right there on that sideline?
I was on the field behind the end zone, and then the one to Thornton, I believe, was over Marco Wilson. So yeah, Christian Gonzalez has been great, and Jonathan Jones looks like he's back in like his prime form. He's looked really good too. The defense we're not worried about. Obviously, it sucks losing Barmore, and I feel terrible for him. But you know, our defense has so many guys. We'll probably still be able to recover just fine from that.
Man, if Javon Baker continue, we're going to talk about Javon Baker real quick. If he continues to stack these days up, I think he could. I mean, I'm not going to say wide receiver 1 right now, but man, Pop sitting out, born on PUP, he's fighting for playing time. I mean, he's a 4th round pick, so he doesn't have a lot of expectation, not like he's a 1st or 2nd or 3rd pick. But man, Javon Baker has been balling, man. I'm excited. I cannot wait. You just got to stay healthy. He did have a drop today, so let's see if he can get under control. It's like the thing with him, and he'll make a get out your wheelchair, grab your popcorn, catch, and then he'll mess around and drop. He dropped like an easy slant from May or Milton somebody today. He dropped an easy slant from there. So his hands got to be consistent. That's been a problem with him. But if he puts it all together, gets his hand consistently, we got ourselves probably a number 1 in the future, man. Him and I think Jalen, I heard Jalen Pope name a couple of times today, but Javon Baker has been balling, man. It's like the 3rd day in a row we're talking about the highlight reel catch.
Well, the thing with Polk is he's just gonna give you, safer everything, safer hands, safer play. But Javon Baker today, again, he brought so much energy, and I forgot what I was gonna say. I had something. He's really taking advantage of the veteran guys being out because, this is the time for the young guys to shine. You got Pop Douglas not playing in competitive drills. You got Juju, he doesn't even look like an NFL receiver anymore. And Javon Baker is doing a great job of taking time to show his talent to the crowd and to the coaching staff. I think Javon Baker's already solidified himself as a top 3 receiver on this team, talent-wise. Him and Jalen Polk are going to be massive for us this year. And I think Jacoby Brissett, if he does start, will do a great job developing them.
Good point. White is built more for the interior rush. Good point by you, Stats. Stats made that point a while ago. I agree with that, Joseph. Javon will be our wide receiver 1 soon. Let's hope. He got to be consistent, man. Stay consistent. Cut out them drops, man. Watch. Jonathan Jones, I feel good about.
Me too.
He's everything I want in Parker. Man, I think, Javon Baker. Basically, it's like I said before we started. I said Javon Baker is a swap out for Parker. Jalen Polk is your Juju Smith-Schuster replacement. And I was thinking KJ Osborne would have been a Tyquan Thornton replacement, but Tyquan Thornton, he's fighting for his job right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Man, I love the way this wide receiver core is shaping out. And then they got the 32 of 32 ranking they were talking about yesterday. And Pop Douglas and those guys, they know about that, man. They're talking about it. I love hearing them motivated by that.
Oh, yeah, me too. And I think Javon Baker brings you a lot more than Devontae Parker. Even in Devontae Parker's prime, he was a solid, deep ball receiver. But Javon Baker's got way more skill. He's got a way bigger route tree. But yeah, you just talked about the replacements. You're basically trading out Polk. You're trading out Juju, Parker, and I'm not gonna say Tyquan's still on the team because again, it's a small sample size. But Juju, Parker, and Tyquan for Polk, Baker, and Osborne, you're obviously winning that by a mile. You're getting the healthier guys. You're getting the younger guys. KJ Osborne's a steady veteran receiver. So I'm super excited, man. I can't wait to be there tomorrow. Sorry, one last thing I was going to say real quick. Jabril Peppers, I wouldn't be too concerned about him. I'm not super worried about that. He's been dealing with, cramping. I really, if I had to predict, I think it's just that again. But I think they're trying to be super, cautious with it. But he was limping again. It might be like a pulled muscle. If it's something like that, just hold him out. He has nothing to prove. He's a starter on our team, so there's no need to risk anything.
All right, Stash, you'll be there tomorrow, man. What are you looking forward to? For me personally, I want to see Drake May. I know you're going to go to Drake May. I want to see him bounce back, see how he bounce back tomorrow. And I agree. I think he's going to bounce back. I think the day was just an anomaly. It was a rookie day. He's going to have I'm not going to say he's going to light everything up tomorrow, but he'll definitely have a better day tomorrow. I want to see KJ Osborne. I want to hear your name a little more. I want to see KJ Osborne step up a little bit. Tyquan Thornton, see if you can continue to grind and continue to put the work in, make the stack days up. Kayshon Boutte. You too. I done given up on Juju Smith-Schuster and Javon Baker. He got to stay consistent. So I want to see. That's what I want to see in this. I want to see. I know it's a lot, but I want to see the offensive line gelling and holding everything together because tomorrow be the second day of pass because they're off on Wednesday. So tomorrow might be it probably be a heavy day tomorrow because they're not going to practice on Wednesday. So and then we have a preseason game on Thursday. The Bears and the Houston Texans. Yep. So start of preseason. So starting this weekend, we got football up until Super Bowl February. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow. What are you looking forward to, Stats? And you will be there.
So we're 6 days into training camp now. I'm not looking for really any more breakout guys. We kind of know where everybody's at this point. Now I'm just looking for consistency. The O-line, Coach Mayo said they're really trying to figure out that starting rotation for the offensive line. It needs to be figured out soon because the season's not too far away. And I think this is just what I'm going to say. I think the rotation they went with today with Cole Strange being out is the rotation that they're probably going to go to start the year. They look the best. Nick Leverett at center. He's not going to start over David Andrews. He looked really good today, and I love the energy he brought. He looked like he had a lot of camaraderie. And then obviously I'm looking for consistency. We've been saying this from Tyquan Thornton. Obviously Jalen Polk and Baker have been awesome, but Tyquan Thornton and KJ Osborne, they gotta stay consistent. We gotta hear their name a lot tomorrow. And then Drake May, he's gonna have a huge day tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow night, and I think we're gonna be talking a lot of good things about Drake May. I think he's gonna bounce back. But I'm super excited.
Cannot wait, man. Cannot wait. One more couple of comments. CD says CD will be a Patriot next season. Man, don't play with me, man. I hope so.
I think he just signed a big deal.
I heard something about it, but they said it's not. There was a fake report or something, but maybe something happened soon. I did the ESPN over on the pick today. Pat's at 4.5 is just goofy. I know you guys have spoken about it, but Arizona is at 6.5. That's crazy. What the frig, boys? I can see us winning 6-7 games. I don't see the Cardinals getting. I can see. I ain't looked at Arizona's schedule, But maybe it's because our schedule is probably a little more difficult than Arizona. But I definitely still, even with the training camp, the up and days by Drake May, at this point, whether it's May or Brissett, I definitely we getting over 4.5. I think we can get to 6 or 7 wins.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't seen our schedule predicting video, a couple videos back, so make sure to go check that out because we broke down the whole schedule. We talked about each game. We both had the Pats going around 7 and 10, 8 and 9, which is I think around where they'll be. But I'm excited to go tomorrow, man. I can't wait to be on live tomorrow night. And thank you again, man.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, man. Me and my boy Stat, he will be back at the he'll be back at practice tomorrow. Hey, if y'all on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, mainly on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, give me the thumbs up, like the video. Facebook, share the content. Make sure you give me a like. But on Facebook, please share. YouTube, the thumbs up and like. LinkedIn, on where else? I'm on Twitter, everywhere. Make sure you share and like the comment. Like the content. Also, Stats, follow him on Instagram. Give me 1 second at patriots.status on Instagram. Give my boy a follow, man. He put us out some great content every day, man. Give him a follow. Also, follow me down at the bottom, Kens_Pats Talk, Kenny Whitley on Twitter, and Kens Pats Talk on YouTube, man. Make sure y'all do that.